Hello guys, welcome to today's devotion. Still in the same place, and I thought I'd crack another one while I'm here. We're talking about being in the race. That is the picture of the Christian life, being athletes in the race. The implications of this are huge. The applications are equally as big. And we're looking at to try and find what Paul was really trying to say to us by this picture of us being athletes in the Christian experience. We spoke first of all about having a vision and a goal of the race. Why are we running it? And Paul tells us very clearly that we run this in order to get a prize. Nobody runs just for the sake of running. There's a prize at the end. There's a goal to the Christian experience, and that we run to get the prize of the high calling of Christ, and that is eternity, the rewards. Then we spoke about the things that hinder us in the race, one of them being the issue of being distracted. Like the hare in the race that we spoke about yesterday. He lost the race because he was distracted along the way. Well, today I want to talk about one of the things that the body of Christ is to us in order to help us to run the race. You see, one of the things that helps us to run well the race is to run with others. Now, I know you run it as an individual, and you're not judged according to the performance of other people, and they won't be judged according to your performance. But we run well when we run together the race that God has called us to. Now, this race being run together is pictured in many different ways in Paul's writing. In 1 Corinthians 9, we read about the race and putting ourselves under discipline in order to run the race. But turn over the pages a couple of pages and you get to chapter 12, and Paul refers to the body of Christ, of which each one of us is a part. Some of us have a role as being maybe like a hand. Some of us are the mouth or the neck or the head or the body of Christ. We all have a place in the beauty of the body of Christ. My thesis today is simply we run better when we run together the race. When we run together, there's mutual encouragement, there's mutual strengthening, there's mutual discipline, there's mutual camaraderie that happens when we run together. Now, those of us who live in South Africa are very familiar with the race that we have annually. It's the biggest marathon race in the country. It's called the Comrades Marathon, and it's exactly that. Most of the people don't run to win because they know they're probably not going to win. Some hotshot little athlete's going to whip them and they're going to get to the finish line first. But they run because they want to run and be a part of a group of people who are striving to achieve a great goal, and they need one another. I'm intrigued on Comrades Day. I don't even want to run that race, by the way. But I'm intrigued on Comrades Day, watching it on TV, and to see the fellowship that is happening between fellow runners as they share resources, they pass stuff to one another, they encourage one another in the ups and the downs, and when you're tired, a guy will draw alongside you and say, keep going, my man, keep going, you're doing good, let me run with you for a while, or if you have to walk, I'll walk with you, and I'll encourage you. And I watch this, and sometimes some of the most emotional moments come out of that race as people sacrifice their own time and their own race to help somebody else run the race. When they come into the finish line, it is so dramatic, and many tears are shed as they see these exhausted runners carrying people across the finish line, dragging them across the finish line, shouting and drawing alongside them and helping them to finish the race. I love that picture, man. I think it's a great picture of what the church should be like. The church is the body of Christ. And I know full well that we're not perfect. I know full well that we're full of idiosyncrasies and challenges. But man, we're the body. And when one part of the body ails and one part of the body is not doing well, the rest of the body don't reject it. They draw alongside it, and they help it, and they encourage it. They don't shoot their wounded. You know, we were talking last week about being soldiers, and sadly, and I mean this with all kindness, the church has a terrible track record of shooting their wounded. Instead of drawing alongside them at their time of greatest need, we alienate them, man. And when they are struggling, and when they've been hurt by others, or when they get lost or they mess up a little bit, we've got a great track record for just alienating them and leaving them behind. That's not what the body of Christ is about. The body of Christ should be a body that draws alongside, despite the circumstances. We don't sit in judgment of people. If you're judging people, that's a miserable place. Who made you better than anybody anyway? You know, we all are prone to failure and to fall, but we need one another in order to finish and to complete well the race. So again, I say to you, are you in the body? You might be a believer, so you're part of the body, but are you functioning? Are you doing your role, fulfilling that role that God has ordained for you to be? If you're a person that just attends a church, that's great. I love that. That's a great start. But it's only the beginning. When we draw alongside one another, encourage through being part of small groups, being part of ministry groups, being part of groups that go out to care for others in the body, people, that does God's heart a lot of good. And He cheers you on. He's sitting on the sideline, and along with all the other people in the body, they're cheering for you. I hope that you're able to keep up and make this thing happen well. Be a part of the body. It's a great way to run. Don't try and run the race on your own. You won't last. Have a good day. Bye.